Baby, it was the inchworm challenge for me. It was the inchworm challenge for me. The sight of Mama Joyce down on the ground. Let me tell you something. When I saw Brian's interpretation of Mama Joyce down to the ground, listen, I'm gonna tell y'all the truth. Mama Joyce in shape. But let me tell you something. I wish I had made a GIF of this right here of Brian imitating Mama Joyce down up on that ground, doing that good old inchworm up to the finish line. What is going on, y'all? It's your boy DJ Richie Skye back with another video, and we got to talk about Kandi and the Gang episode 5. And it's called He looked like a snitch. Okay, he looked like a snitch. He looked like a snitch because he is a snitch, but he didn't snitch this time. This time it was another reason. But is Patrick a snitch? Yeah, he's a snitch. But overall, Chandrika was blaming the wrong person. Okay, yet again. So we also got to talk about why Mama Joyce still does not like her some Todd Tucker. Poor Todd Tucker. Okay, he just cannot catch a break. According to Mama Joyce, the entire streets of Atlanta don't like Todd. Now, how she know that? How she know? Did she do a survey? Was she going around with the census people asking if everybody on the streets like Todd Tucker or not? Chime down in the chatterization if you live in Atlanta and if you like Todd or not, because you might have been in the census and we didn't even know about it. So somebody let us know what you think, okay? Now, if you're in the chatterization, y'all go ahead and A, let me know where you're watching from because you know we're a little bit nosy. And then B, let me know what you would rate last night's episode because on a scale of 1 to 10, we're going to have to do a little raterization. I'm going to give this episode a 9. I'm going to give it a 9. Listen, the reason I'm giving it a 9 is for this moment right here. The sight of Brian bouncing that wig on top of his head, I love it. I loved it, baby. I loved it. And apparently y'all loved it too. Listen, last night was a good old time. Kandi had said something about what Kandi had texted me. Not just me. Not just me. I'm in her texting community, just like you should be a part of mine, okay? But anyway, I'm in her texting community, and this is what she said last night. I don't know if y'all in it, but you better if you want to go ahead and get up in there and get the tea ahead of time. She said, "I promise that tonight's episode is the funniest thing you've ever seen on Bravo. Make sure to set your DVR to record it and tweet live with me starting at 9 p.m. Now, I missed the live tweeting, but I ain't miss I did not miss this inchworm challenge, okay? No, I did not. Now, meanwhile, oh Lord, let's get started with this episode. We start with the confrontation with Chandrika outside with Kandi and Todd from when we last seen them, and it was basically asking her, "Listen, girl, do you want to be here or not?" Okay. Her lip was still, doing a little quiver, I thought she was about to cry. I really did thought she was about to cry. And I said, "Oh, now you a good one, Chandrika, if you pull out the waterworks. Pull them out, girl. Pull them out." But she couldn't muster a teardrop. So I didn't see, so we didn't get that. Anyway, she says she does want to be there, but she does not want to keep having new managers. And Todd Tucker says, "Well, that's just a part of the game." Is it? I don't know nothing about running no restaurants and things like that. But if I feel like the staff is complaining about having 11, 12, 13, 20, 11, 5, 50 managers, then we got a problem, okay? And it's not just the employees at this point. She says she says everybody there does what she wants. But Chandrika, that's including you. That is including you, okay? All I could think of, mind you, Todd and Kandi responded to her in some type of way. And all I could think of when I saw them in their new confessional was, thank God they didn't lit these folks correctly. When I'm talking lighting, I'm talking about when you like Black people, and this is a production note. Because the tone of their backdrop is so dark, you are going to need to throw some extra lighting on Todd and Kandi, okay? They do a very good job of lighting like a Chandrika because her background is a little bit lighter. But Todd and Kandi's, oftentimes their lighting is very dark because likely of that green screen backdrop that they're using that is not too bright. So when I looked at the confessional and I said, oh, y'all didn't finally lit them well, I said, hallelujah, hallelujah. But then not minutes later in another one, that was still poorly lit again. Now I said, I don't know what in the filter is going on here, but editing bay, people in the editing bay in the back, future episodes, there's still time. I know you got a whole week before you gotta before the next episode about to go up. It's probably already in the can. But somebody need to go into the editing bay and tweak them and light them appropriately. It is bothersome to me that when I'm seeing the owners and the creators of the show, they lit so poorly. Why is that? Why? It does not make any sense to me. Y'all can't be having them types of budget constraints. I know y'all don't want to get a generator, but we can add another light, okay? Do it in post. Anyway, they basically tell her to let them know when there's some urgent matters that she needs to discuss and not to go on the telephone, or they didn't really say that, but just not to be spreading it in the restaurant. I don't understand why they just didn't tell her, listen, girl, the camera was on you, Don Juan was in the room, and you was on the phone with Brandon. That's how we know. Watch your mouth, okay? Watch your mouth, all right? Back into the restaurant, Mama Joyce is looking for Chandrika. Did y'all peep security in the background? Let me tell y'all something. Don't y'all go around Todd and Kandi's OLG thinking y'all gonna start some ruckus, because security in the background behind Mama Joyce was scrapped, okay? Scrapped, okay? And I know that they say these Atlanta streets be dangerous, but listen, you ain't don't start no problems up in there, okay? Don't start none, won't be none. Anyway, Chandrika goes on her little camera, you know, because they got their little camera phones and whatnot. And I guess that's where they could do like a little cam or something like that. And she goes on there and she says, yeah, I didn't say what Todd and Kandi think I said, okay? I don't know who's going around here lying like that on me, but I didn't say what they think I said. Girl, we saw you on the camera. What are you talking about? You still trying to continue with this lie and this fabrication? And I'm not even gonna say alleged because I heard you say it. So, what it do? What it do? You see this? Sometimes when a character like her, I like Chandrika. I do. She's entertaining to me. I would have fired her a long time ago, but you know I like her. But sometimes when a character like that be so big and bad behind the scenes, you know, cussing and a fussing and and then when you sit them down, the lip trembling and stuff like that, like Lewis from Love and Marriage Huntsville, I don't understand. I'm gonna need you to step it up. Step your P game up. Come on. Say what you got to say, mean what you say what you mean, and let's get into it. Chances are they're not gonna fire you, okay? Everybody getting away with everything and not being fired. So, girl, your job is not in jeopardy, okay? So you might as well just go ahead and lay it on down and say what you got to say. Yeah, I said it. What's up, okay? Anyway, Dom goes to visit Brandon. Now, I don't want to judge nobody and their decor, but I'm about to. If there's anybody's place that Torrin needs to be decorating, it's Brandon's. Because Brandon's place looked like a hodgepodge of things that he has collected from all types of spaces and places and trips and it was just, to me, I don't know if did you notice it? I said, well, what in the Torrin is going on? Torrin, here we don't need you over at Patrick's. I need you over at Brandon's stat, okay? Stat. And the first thing we're going to get rid of is that couch. First things first. unless it's been in the family for years. Okay, then we got to build around it. But y'all know what I'm talking about. Anyway, now that I'm done being judgmental, I'm gonna let it go. Okay, I'm gonna let it for now. Anyway, they recap her meeting his family. He tells her about the meeting that she missed, and we learned that she got booked for a gig in London. Okay, but she can't tell him what it is, but she done told Kandi what it was, and she whispered in Candy's ear, "It's Rick Ross." So we know that Dom Unique is gonna be on tour with Rick Ross. And shout out to you, because that's a huge deal, girl. So big ups to you for going on tour and things like that. She wants to take him out to treat him to some food. And all I kept thinking as they was leaving was, thank God we out of that place. Anyway, Brian and his friend Georgia are cooking soul rolls. And he's been doing some pop-ups, but he still needs his job back at the OLG. Chandrika stops by and he wants her to help him cook these rolls. Now, two things I'm going to say to you is this. I feel like Chandrika, when I come to your house, I do not want to help you cook. Why? Because I don't want to cook myself. That's why I have a meal delivery service, okay? And so if you are inviting me over to your place and you are expecting me to help you cook your dinner and meals and stuff like that for your food service, you have got another thing coming. I'm going to sit there, I'm going to drink, and I'm going to watch, and I'm going to eat, okay? That's number one. However, number two, on the flip side of it, it is very enterprising for Brian to be cooking them soul rolls every time somebody stopped by his house, because that's a good plug for his business. But again, if I'm Chandrika, I'm not coming to help you cook. I'm coming to film and scene and stuff like that with you. And we can do a little drinky like that. Two is my max. But still, that's all I'm doing. I'm not cooking with you, okay? And every time you got to give the same instructions on how to make these rolls. No, you make them rolls, okay? You make them. Now, she tells him that she almost walked out today after her confrontation with Ty. Girl, what was you walking to? You weren't walking nowhere but back up into that restaurant talking about you was about to walk up out of there. No, you was not. No, you was not. You know you want that job too bad, and you know you're going to be on TV, so it won't no way that you was walking up out of there. She act like, you know what, this is what I'm talking about. When she leave the scene, when she in the scene, lip trembling, and then when she get outside of it, she talking on the camera, I didn't say what they think I said, and then she talking about how she about to walk out. Girl, you was not about to leave, okay? Can you please stop that? Stop all that talk, because we know you ain't going nowhere, all right? Because they ain't going to fire you. All right. Anyway, so Chandrika thinks that Patrick is the person that told Kandi and Todd that, she said that Kandi and Todd don't give an F about what goes on in the restaurant. Now, she says that, it's because he looks like a snitch. Well, yeah, Patrick does look like a snitch because he's also related to Kandi and Todd, and so it will make sense that he's a snitch because we've seen him snitch before on Chandrika. We also saw him last week throw Chandrika under the bus, roll the bus over top of her, pick her up, throw her in the river, walk through the woods, drag her down and throw off a cliff. Okay, we saw all that. All right, so we know Patrick is a snitch, and he looked like a snitch too. Sorry, Patrick. I mean, it is what it is. But she's still misdirecting this anger at other people versus the sheer realization that you're on camera when you're saying these things, okay? You think they're not going to see what you're saying when the cameras are there? I don't understand. Anyway, also, she said she felt like that meeting was a crocker-ish, okay? Again, things that she did not say to the owners' faces, but will say behind their backs. Anyway, we learned that Brian is going to go to the team Ponderosa, the team building event, whether anybody likes it or not. So, Philip, get ready. Kandi and Todd stopped by the Camp Creek location of OLG, and things look like they are going smooth there. Now, see, that might be where I need to go and eat, because I definitely ain't going to the one over there until they fire that staff. Okay, I'm gonna go to the one in the Camp Creek because things look like it's running smoothly over there. We learned that Philip is managing the operations over a lot of the restaurants, and that one is under control, y'all. So that's the one we're gonna all meet at when I come to Atlanta. Now, anyway, Philip and Don Juan join them, and they give him some feedback about being a little bit softer. And so then Philip goes in on Brian's suspension, and Don Juan agrees that, Brian has always been defiant. Kandi says that, well, Brian was always being mentioned in all the reviews, but Philip thinks that Brian should be fired because, like, if you're talking back to management, like, in what job would you be able to keep that? Okay, you better go make them soul rolls over there and talk back to people over there, because you're not going to do it over here. All right. Kandi doesn't think that you can just fire all the employees, and Todd is like, cut them. You got to cut it, okay? I don't blame him either. You paying people all this money, you putting these people on TV, and they still can't act right. Not, I expect them to act up a little bit because, you know, otherwise, what kind of show would we have? But I thought they was gonna be acting up more with each other. I didn't think they was gonna be acting up and tearing up the restaurant and things like that. Not really tearing it up, but just letting things, you know. Y'all remember that sync from a couple of episodes ago? Need I say more? Okay, so there's that. Anyway, Kandi says that, well, after the team building event, and if Brian can't get on the same page, then Brandon is going to make a decision about what happens, and they will go their separate ways if he can't, you know, if he can't get back into the mix. She asks about Torrin and Philip. Kandi says they will see how things play out at the team building event. Kandi and Philip are going to be on the same team, and Todd and Don Juan are going to be on the same team as well. All right. Now, Chandrika calls Brandon up to the front, okay, because she's working today. And she mentions to Brandon what happened in the confrontation with Todd. Now, when Brandon is like, well, maybe you said something like that at the team meeting. Why does nobody recall Chandrika screaming on the telephone, talking about Todd and Kandi don't care about about what goes on in the restaurant? What, Brandon? Why don't you remember that? Because, Brandon, that was your opportunity to say, well, girl, remember you called me and you said it on the telephone. Because I definitely would remember if somebody called me and was screaming about Kandi and Todd not caring about the restaurant on the telephone while Don Juan was standing right beside me. Okay, I would probably remember that. Okay, but Brandon, he ain't got nothing on his mind but Dom Unique. Okay, and whatever Dom you needs. All right. Now let's see here. She says she's gonna go confront Patrick and Melvin for some reason. So she go outside and they, you know, off someplace, you know, getting something to eat, maybe on a break or something like that. And she says that she confronts them about what Kandi and Todd said. Like, you know, Kandi and Todd, you know, came up to me and they said this, that, and the third, whoop de whoop de whoop. And she says, well, Patrick, you basically said the same thing about them not caring about the restaurant. And Patrick clarifies, and he was like, no, what I said was they have a lot of other things going on, which is probably true. And maybe they got too many things going on. I really don't know. But Melvin basically calls her out on her BS because he's like, you're basically coming over here with an assumption that we are the ones who said something, because basically she know that they related to Kandi and Todd, so they would be two of the likely candidates to, you know, go back and tell something that she might have said. But at the end of the day, he has to. I mean, Melvin sends her on her way. It's like, get on out of here with this BS, girl, because you're not making no sense right now. And so she goes skipping off into the sunset and just basically claiming that they're lying, right? So we get Dom stopping back by Brandon's apartment so they can head out and get some food. Thank the Lord we are not treated to another scene of the inside of Brandon's place. Brandon, bruh, like you a lot. I do. But what we want to do is I want to arrange for Torrin. What we need you to do is I need you to pick up the phone and call either Dom Unique or call Brandon and have, you know, a meeting, a ponderosa, you know, just to at least do something about that living room. Just something about that living room. Okay. Just, I mean, it's a little something. What was an entire industrial structure in the background. Did y'all see it? Okay. Anyway, they decided they're gonna go out to get some food or whatnot, and he tells her that they need to be a little bit more conscious about how they move at work. But Brandon be the main one bringing up their stuff in front of everybody else, taking her into the back room and kissing and stuff like that. And that's gonna come back to haunt him in the next episode. Watch and see. Anyway, she wants to basically know, listen, I'm about to go out on tour. What we doing? Are we serious or not? You know, I mean, what's going on? You gonna be dating other girls while I'm gone? And he's like, no, it's me and you. So from this point, at least as far as we know, Brandon and Dom Unique are officially together. Mm-mm-mm. This could be short-lived. Okay. Kandi is celebrating Riley's birthday. Now, I thought this was gonna be just a little innocuous scene, a little family gathering. Is Todd, Kandi, Kayla, Ace, Blaze, you got Mama Joyce, and was it also another one of the OLGs there? I don't know. I can't remember, but I definitely know Mama Joyce was there. Okay. So they talk about what it means to keep the restaurants going. And Todd really wants, because Ace says, I want to manage the restaurants. And Todd really wants, like, at least somebody to be able to take over the restaurants at some point in time. But he got to realize that, I mean, it ain't going to be everybody's ambitions to run a restaurant. Okay. Especially from the office, because that's how Todd would like to run it. It seems like he would like to run it just from the office at home, okay, or maybe on vacation or something like that. And yes, that can likely work when you have a general manager or a management staff, but y'all still trying to work that out with Philip and the people right now. And right now, we need all hands on deck. So it ain't no time for you to be managing OLG, Blaze, and whatever else from the office in the back of the house. No. You need to be on the front lines yourself, sir. And that's basically Mama Joyce's point. Mama Joyce basically says this. She wants Todd to understand how everything goes in the restaurant, and she wants him to go to work in the kitchen so he can see and be a little bit more empathetic about what is happening in the process of the cooking and the serving of the food, right? And so Todd is like, "No, I'm not trying to be in the back of the restaurant. I'm trying to own the restaurant. I'm not trying to work in the restaurant." And Kandi chimes in and she basically says, "Well, I have served, I have been a host, I have done it all." And see, that's what I'm talking about. Let me get up in here for this one. Todd, I really do respect you. I really, really do. And I understand where you are coming from in that you are trying to be an owner of the business. You're not trying to be in the business. And I completely agree with that. But while you're trying to make your business better, at a certain point in time, sometimes I believe as an owner, you also have to personally, this is just my thought, and we can all disagree on this because I want to know what y'all think too. But for me, I want to know what's going on in my restaurant. I want to know what's going on in my business. And so most of the times in anything that I start, I spend a lot of time involved in the day-to-day operations of whatever it is that I have going on. I want to know everything, every single thing from the rooter to the tutor. I want to know how this works, how that works, how the macaroni and cheese is made. Not that I want to go in and change it, but what I do want to know is I want to see what the process is like so that I know when somebody comes to me and they got an issue, I can tell them what's right or what's wrong. See, I don't want to have to depend on just the general manager to say what's right or what's wrong. I don't want to have to depend on what the employees say either. Why? Because I want to know myself exactly what's going on with them macaroni and cheese and why it's not made right because you ain't put the right kind of Velveeta up in there. And I know what kind of Velveeta go up in there because I know everything that goes on up in this restaurant. Okay. So you cannot fool me. I know what it takes to run this kitchen because I've done it before. That's what you should be able to tell your employees personally. That's just what I think, okay? And even if you are not the general manager, even as the owner, I think that you should still be able to go up in there and tell them what is going on because at this point in time, you have hired a general manager and you still have problems and you don't know what's going on because you can't even trust what the employees are saying. I mean, it makes sense. I was totally team Mama Joyce on this one because I just felt like, bro, no, what she's saying is absolutely correct. Okay. Now, granted, I remember Kandi saying that she want Mama Joyce and the aunts to stay out of the kitchen a little bit more, but at least they have the wherewithal to know what's going on up in that kitchen. Okay. And Mama Joyce seemed like she knew what was going on up in that kitchen and she needed him to see what was going on in the kitchen so he can help see what some of these problems are and stop commentating and from the sidelines because Kandi let us know that he do kind of do a lot of nitpicking and stuff like that. You cannot nitpick if you do not know. Okay. That is the first thing I want to say. You cannot nitpick if you do not know. All right. I'm sorry, Todd, but listen, Mama Joyce, I'm with you on this one. Todd, get on up in that kitchen. But then she goes, and now while I was definitely team Mama Joyce in what she had to say, but then she let us know in her confessional, she was like, you know what? That is why I cannot stand Todd. That is the reason why nobody in the Atlanta area can stand Todd. I mean, the way she said it, I had to wonder. I was like, do anybody in Georgia like Todd? What did he do? Is he on the most wanted list? What is going on with Todd? Now, I understand we don't agree with him on this issue, but to go so far as to say that you cannot stand this man because he don't want to come to work in the kitchen, that was a lot. That was a whole lot. That was a lot, okay? A lot. Now, I don't know what kind of census survey she did to find out why everybody in the streets don't like Todd and what she be hearing, but Mama Joyce reminds me of Margaret from the Real Housewives of New Jersey. Mama Joyce probably know everybody because they're probably related to everybody in Atlanta. So that's probably how she know how the streets don't like him. But dang, I mean, dang, somebody in Atlanta like Todd. Somebody do. Oh, I know Apollo's back in Atlanta. He like Todd. Okay, somebody there likes him. Somebody there likes him. All right. Long story short, we're gonna see Todd in the kitchen next week. Okay. We're going to see how that goes. Meanwhile, it's the day of the team building event, okay? Don, Todd, and Brandon all get there first. Don tells Brandon that the decision about what to do about Brian falls on Brandon because they really want to see if Brandon going to step up as a manager and, really be able to tell, Brian what's the deal, Everybody shows up. And while they all sitting there, Brandon, who is a manager, mentions something about sleeping at Dom's house while everybody is just sitting there. Like, bro, you can't keep nothing to yourself. Y'all, you know what? They always try to make it seem like women are the biggest gossips. It be the men, okay? And you know why it be the men? Because they don't even fathom sometimes that they are telling a secret that they are telling. Most men are WikiLeaks, okay? Basically, let's put it like that. Most men are WikiLeaks. You can't trust them to keep nothing to themselves, okay? Because a lot of times they're not even thinking like that. They're not even thinking, oh, this is a secret. I probably shouldn't tell nobody. I feel like when women gossip, they be like, listen, girl, you did not hear this from me, okay? But this is what's going on down the street. And guys be like, bro, yeah, I saw them down the street together. I didn't even know that he had broke up with his wife. Well, he has not, okay? He has not. He's cheating with the mistress. Thank you, sir, okay? Autumn Fall says, I want them to stay together, but Joyce is always gonna go in on Todd. Kandi still hasn't put up boundaries when it comes to her husband. I feel right bad for Todd. I feel right bad for him. Okay. Brandon is the snitch. Who is the real snitch here? Okay. Jessica says, my husband loves to gossip. I just sit and listen. Sometimes it's like watching one of your reviews. Oh God. Whew. Anyway, Kandi and Todd arrived. They don't hear about Brandon's comment about sleeping over with Dom and they Ponderosa at night times. And the OLG arrives and they're gonna be the referees, okay? And we learned that the winning team is gonna get $100 a piece. Now that's $100 for 7 people on each team, so it was $700. Now, see, Kandi and Tassi, this is what I do. This is what I do and I don't like about y'all. Y'all are smart enough to say, we're not going to be giving y'all a lot of extra money. We're paying you to be on this show, so all you can get is $100 extra, okay? The OLG is in the background like, are we going to get paid too? And I'm like, but Candy's like, I'm not giving y'all all my money. Not today. No, we pay y'all anyway. And this is why y'all are here because y'all are bad employees. So I'm not going to reward you for mediocrity, okay? So what you need to do is show me something real when we in the store, okay? So that's why you're only going to get $100. I thought I had another super chat. Cindy said, Philip acts like he looked down on the feminine gaze, or is it just me? You know what? I don't know. I think it may just be that he gives me very military-like, and anybody that, he perceives as like a threat, I feel like he, is already ready to get buck with them. You know what I'm saying? That's how I kind of feel. Anyway, now Mama Joyce is screaming about, well, if Todd teams loses, he has to go work in the kitchen. And Kandi says, okay, no, that's not going to be the case. Kandi, when she's choosing her team, she's not choosing the team that is the best, that was going to help her win. What she says is that she's going to choose the team of people that need to work together the most. Now, first up, we have Tug of War. Did y'all see Squid Games? Chime down in the chat if you saw Squid Games. Because if you saw Squid Games on Netflix, then you know that there is a strategy for winning Tug of War, okay? Nobody employed this strategy. They played Tug of War like some amateurs, okay? They had never seen Squid Games. And I know, now listen, y'all know what the strategy is, okay? You know what the strategy is. You let up a little bit, then everybody pull back at the same time after you let up and give them some little length, and then I think you sit. Do you sit down? Dang, I don't remember. Anyway, all I know is go rewatch Squid Games, and that you'll get a tutorial on how to win Tug of War. Nobody saw that. Kandi tells Brian that he needs to get along with Philip. Todd team end up winning Tug of War. Next is the inchworm relay. Okay, Aunt Bertha's ready to go home, of course. Mama Joyce says, I can do the inchworm. And why is she on the ground doing this inchworm? Mama, I'm going to tell y'all what this show needs more of. It needs more of Kandi, Todd, and the OLG. I like these new people and things, but let me tell you something. Mama Joyce, what was you doing on the ground right here? But she says she did it to point out how sorry Kandi's team was, okay? But interestingly enough, Kandi's team ends up winning the inchworm race, okay? So next is the expediter. So it's basically you will have 4 runners who are running and getting the food blindfolded, and you will have one expediter who is basically trying to lead them and guide them to get a full loaded tray to the table, which is the OLG table for the referees. I did feel like this was a very good exercise that was meant to teach them all how to listen. And miraculously, Don says this. Don once came up with this game, and he says, I think him and Philip, he says he didn't even realize how important the expediter role is. And he says that not even the owners realize how important this role is. And I was like, Don, is that a little bit of shade? Okay. Kandi's team goes first. Chandrika notices that Philip is loosening up to the OLG crew. We noticed that the OLG ladies really love Brian, and Brian says he's seeing a different side of Philip, and Philip is seeing a different side of Torrance. So this team building exercise day is working. Todd's team goes up next. Meanwhile, the OLG are just commenting on how much weight Patrick can gain, and I was like, well, dang. Anyway, both teams end up tying, and everybody is going to get $100. The OLG want to know if they're going to get their $100 too, but what Mama Joyce really wants to know is if Todd is coming to work in the kitchen. Kandi says no, because both teams tied, but we know from next week's preview that man going to be in the kitchen, okay, as he should be. But I don't think that's going to go as well as we would like. Anyway, back at the OLG, Brian arrives for a meeting with Philip and Brandon. Brian still doesn't know what he was suspended for. Brandon tells him it was his conduct with relation to authority. And I thought that Brandon did a good job of really being authoritative without being condescending or talking down to Brian. Brandon tells him that it seems like he wants to do whatever he wants to do, but Brandon is willing to bring him back with a warning, though. And he has 2 more strikes, and then he is out of there. Philip basically says that they both let things get out of control, and Brandon admits that he already had a bias towards Philip based on things he had already heard. And we actually get an apology from Philip, and Brian says that they're going to be good. Again, Philip is right, Leandra. You know somebody in your family. We can talk. Okay, let me tell y'all something. Y'all know how online people be like, if we were to see this comment on some other shows where a character said, "Ooh, that person gained some weight," it would be people all up in arms writing the think pieces on Instagram talking about the weight shaming and all the kinds of shaming and things like that. But when family do it, it's just like, we all know what's up. Family gonna tell you whether you like it or not. And ain't nobody gonna write no think pieces on it, because at the end of the day, y'all know that's how we do it in our families. Ooh, is she pregnant? Ooh, I done heard it all. Trust me. Especially if you, I don't care what kind of family you in. They gonna call you out when they see you lose some weight, gain some weight, doing something different. They do not care what it is. Your family does not care, okay? Your family does not care about being politically correct. And so that is what we were seeing on this show. They do not care, especially when they older too. You cannot tell an older person they is not going to change, okay? They are not going to change at all right? And it is, and you cannot like what I'm saying, but y'all know it's the truth, okay? Go wait till your next family gathering, okay? See who walk in looking a little different and what everybody got to say about them, because they're gonna call it out. Okay, they gonna call it out. Thank you. Ain't nobody checking grandma. Ain't nobody gonna check a boo. Y'all, so overall, I like this episode a lot. That's why I gave it a 9. It was fun to me. It was funny. I think that this is the type of show that, I would like to see more of. I hope they get a season 2, because to me, it's got enough drama that doesn't feel toxic or dark, but enough just so that it keeps me invested in watching more. I just be hating how they make the restaurant look. That's the only thing about it that just burns my biscuits a little bit, and chaps my butt a little bit. But otherwise, I like this show. And I'm happy that they have done this. I think the ratings will be even higher once we get the lead in from Atlanta. Excuse me, and more people start to realize how good this show actually is. So anyway, y'all know I love y'all, and I'm just gonna basically leave y'all with this. Okay. Now, until next time, I'm gonna catch y'all in the next video.